Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews.
We need your support, so if you like what we do, please support us by joining our Patreon page.
Visit our partner pureatbowling.com and use the special code TAMER when making a purchase to be entered into a monthly drawing. I want to thank Limerick Bowl for their support. If you're in the area, don't forget to visit Limerick Bowl in Limerick, Pennsylvania.
Alright, today we have the new Motiv Tank Blitz. We actually tested on 3 different patterns: our normal house shot, a 43-foot pattern on wood, and a sport shot. First impressions, the Tank Blitz is clearly something different and it works. It works really well. For value, we gave the Tank Blitz an A+. It's easily worth the price of entry. It's definitely unique in how it does what it does, and you likely won't have anything else in the bag quite like it. Overall, we gave it an A on house, A on sport shot. I'm usually pretty reserved with my scores, but I have to admit that the Tank Blitz just stands out. We cheated a little bit by testing multiple surface finishes right out of the gate, but I think it'll make our feedback all the better. The gear core is not new. It goes back to the GT1, and for those that remember that, and of course the Venom Shock, the Blitz comes out of the box with tons of surface. The idea is to give you great front and mid lane control. Add that to a low RG core with a low diff, which really keeps control of flare, allowing it to be kind of smooth but strong down lane. I would love to use a different word other than the cliche continuous, but I have to admit this ball really does embody that through the pins. And the ball has so much surface, I wasn't sure it would be as usable out of box on house shots, so we decided to put compound on it, and that's what I'm going to show first, and we'll come back to the out of box later. Right away I can tell you that with compound, this ball killed the house shot. I could play 10 with the arrows to 5 into the 4th arrow. I didn't totally get what I would call a urethane vibe, to be honest. I got more like that big control reactive piece that's not sideways down lane. And typically when I try to shine urethane, if I can get it to take, it just goes straight. But the compound on the Blitz just allows it to have enough length to get it through the mids and shape in the right spot for a great carry. Just watch the different entry through the pins. I mean, any ball high flush strikes. And this ball will high flush a lot, but watch the other shots and you'll see why I liked it so much. I mean, what urethane ball could I go 16-8 on a longish playing house shot at my rev rate? None. But you also see the control you get from the miss in. If I missed out to 5, of course, that was asking for trouble with a piece like this, but honestly, I had plenty of room. So now going back to the factory surface, I wanted to show you some shots here, and it's a progression. So, I'll show you how strong the motion is. I'm starting at 11-6, no chance. Out to 4, it's not coming back. I start to chase in until I get to about 14-6, and then it was absolutely perfect. And then it pretty much just keeps working from there. And I honestly was surprised. I thought it would force me too deep with the cover, but then not make the move down lane. I was just wrong. Now to give you an alternative look, I mean, here it is on a wood surface at a 43-foot tighter pattern. And this time I'm showing the factory surface first, and it really just felt about impossible for me. I just could not push it through the fronts, couldn't get it to the spot to even give it a chance to get to the pocket. And so I quickly went to the compound and just, wow, what a difference. It was very easy to strike. Now I can get it through the fronts, even though it's still churning in the mids, but I can get it to the spot and see that strong arcing motion. I really enjoyed throwing the Tank Blitz on this with some compound. What a difference going from frustration to elation. Now Cody is next, and he is testing on the 43-foot pattern on the wood lanes at Pure Bowling, and he did the same, put compound on his ball. And that's what we're showing here. I edited nothing out of this video. He struck and struck often. I mean, the compound allowed this ball just enough length on the wood surface, and again, no matter how it went through the pins, the ball literally carried everything. And Cody bowls on the PBA East Regional Tour, so he does make this pattern look very easy, but the ball also made him look good. And it was just a great blend of a very clear control reaction through the first half of the lane, while also offering good smooth down lane motion. You might say it looks soft sometimes, but that's part of how it works. It corners enough that you can get away from the pocket and carry the lighter hits better than, say, traditional urethane. You can tug it and it has the higher likelihood to hold than traditional reactive. And surprisingly, the ball seemed to like deeper trajectories. It hit a little flatter when actually it was going more direct, as on the wood surface it's bleeding a bit too much energy. Now here I'll just show you a few shots with the factory surface piece, and you could see it read earlier. It looks to have the same strong arcing motion, but I would say carry started to go down. It's just losing too much energy on this wood surface. The factory finish and this surface really don't match up as well. Now we have Bryan on the Limerick house shot and showing the ball with compound first. Again, he just had a great look with the tank blitz. He's lined up going 6, 7, 8 through the arrows, and Bryan saw more of the same, just as we saw, and that's a good thing. I mean, the ball still had a good mid-lane read, and it just keeps driving. It has an early, strong, reactive look, I would say. I mean, even when it hits light, it still carries. I mean, the ball just started to feel like something special when every tester had a great look with it. I mean, again, don't go crazy opening up your angles a ton, but this ball just did give a pretty nice wide pocket. And again, here we have Bryan throwing it with a factory surface, and he was 3 and 2 deeper, so 3 with his feet, 2 at the arrows, deeper to find the pocket. Again, obvious, earlier, smoother look, but still seemed to work without too much difficulty, which, I will say I was a little surprised, but this is a little superior house shot, so maybe it makes sense. So here we have the 42-foot Scorpion pattern, and I used the factory finish here given the 30 mils of oil, and you could see that I had a good look. I had multiple lines to the pocket. The ball just clearly, felt like it was versatile. I could play it direct or move in and still get good shape. For Bryan on Scorpion, I would say this was the first chink in the armor for the Tank Blitz. He really had no look. It was the first time he saw, what I would call a, quote, urethane-like look in testing, and he would never use that type of shape on a sport shot for him. He just couldn't get shape out of the ball, and no forgiveness. The final thoughts, I think we saw a lot here, and the Motiv Tank Blitz is legitimately a different type of ball. It's got a strong cover that gives you the control through the fronts and the mids while offering smooth forgiveness down lane, and while typically I'm not looking to throw urethane, I usually am looking for strong control, and this is clearly not urethane. The Tank Blitz almost feels like a big, strong, high-performance ball, actually. It's still not the throw it away from the pocket and watch it reel back type of ball, but it's actually much more than that. It's a control ball, strong ball, that actually feels like it does something and not just pukes for the sake of control. And how it behaved to surface changes really just seals the deal for me. And this is definitely staying in my bag.
I need to tell you to what Tamer reviews.